Hello my dear friends. Welcome to this channel. Today, in this video, we will talk about one of the biggest and largest airplane in world. That is Antonov An-225. So let's go. The Antonov An-225 Mriya is a strategic airlift cargo aircraft that was designed by the Antonov Design Bureau in the Ukrainian SSR within the Soviet Union during the 1980s. It is powered by 6 turbofan engines and is the heaviest aircraft ever built, with a maximum takeoff weight of 640. It also has the largest wingspan of any aircraft in operational service. The single example built has the Ukrainian civil registration UR-80-2060. A second airframe with a slightly different configuration was partially built. Its construction was halted in 1994 because of lack of funding and interest, but revived briefly in 2009, bringing it to 60 to 70% completion. On August 30, 2016, Antonov agreed to complete the second airframe for Aerospace Industry Corporation of China as a prelude to commencing series production. The Antonov An-225 was initially developed as an enlargement of the Antonov An-124 to transport Buran-class orbiters. The only An-225 airplane was completed in 1988. After successfully fulfilling its Soviet military missions, it was mothballed for 8 years. It was then refurbished and reintroduced, and is in commercial operation with Antonov Airlines, carrying oversized payloads. The airlifter holds the absolute world record for an airlifted single-item payload of 189,980 kilograms. And an airlifted total payload of 253,820 kilograms. It has also transported a payload of 247,000 kilograms on a commercial flight. The Antonov An-225 was designed to airlift the Mriya rockets boosters and the Buran-class orbiters for the Soviet space program. It was developed as a replacement for the Myasishchev VMT. The An-225's original mission and objectives are almost identical to that of the United States shuttle carrier aircraft. The lead designer of the An-225, and the An-124, was Viktor Tolmachev. The An-225 first flew on December 21, 1988. It was on static display at the Paris Air Show in 1989. And it flew during the public days at the Farnborough Air Show in 1990. 2 aircraft were ordered, but only one An-225 was finished. It can carry ultra-heavy and oversized freight weighing up to 250,000 kilograms internally or 200,000 kilograms on the upper fuselage. Cargo on the upper fuselage can be 70 meters long. The second An-225 was partially built during the late 1980s for the Soviet space program. Following the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 and the cancellation of the Buran program, the lone operational An-225 was placed in storage in 1994. The 6 Ivashenko Progress engines were removed for use on An-124s. And the second uncompleted An-225 airframe was also stored. In the 1990s, a cargo liner bigger than the An-124 was clearly needed. The first An-225 was restored by 2001. By 2000, the need for additional An-225 capacity had become apparent. So the decision was made in September 2006 to complete the second An-225. That second airframe was scheduled for completion around 2008, then delayed. By August 2009, the aircraft had not been completed and work had been abandoned. In May 2011, The Antonov CEO reportedly said that the completion of a second An-225 Mriya transport aircraft with a carrying capacity of 250 tons requires at least $300 million, but if the financing is provided, its completion could be achieved in 3 years. Based on Antonov's earlier An-124, the An-225 has fuselage barrel extensions added fore and aft of the wings. The wings also received root extensions to increase span. The wings are anhedral. The flight control surfaces are controlled via fly-by-wire and triple redundant hydraulics. 2 more Progress D18T turbofan engines were added to the new wing roots, bringing the total to 6. An increased capacity landing gear system with 32 wheels was designed, some of which are steerable, enabling the aircraft to turn within a 60-meter wide runway. Like its An-124 predecessor, the An-225 has nose gear designed to kneel so cargo can be more easily loaded and unloaded. Unlike the An-124, which has a rear cargo door and ramp, the An-225 design left these off to save weight, and the empennage design was changed from a single vertical stabilizer to a twin tail with an oversized, swept-back horizontal stabilizer. The twin tail was essential to enable the plane to carry large, heavy external loads that would disturb the airflow around a conventional tail. Unlike the An-124, the An-225 was not intended for tactical airlifting and is not designed for short-field operation. Initially, the An-225 had a maximum gross weight of 600 tons, but from 2000 to 2001, the aircraft underwent modifications at a cost of $20 million such as the addition of a reinforced floor, which increased the maximum gross weight to 640 t. Both the earlier and later takeoff weights established the An-225 as the world's heaviest aircraft, being heavier than the double-deck Airbus A380. It is surpassed in other size-related categories, but Airbus claims to have improved upon the An-225's maximum landing weight by landing an A380 at 591.7 tons during tests, and the Hughes H-4 Hercules, known as the Spruce Goose, has a greater wingspan and a greater overall height, but the Spruce Goose is 20% shorter and overall lighter, due to the materials used in its construction. In addition, the H-4 only flew once and for less than a minute, making the An-225 the largest aircraft in the world to fly multiple times. In the late 1980s, the Soviet government was looking for a way to generate revenue from its military assets. In 1989, the Antonov Design Bureau set up a holding company as a heavy airlift shipping corporation under the name Antonov Airlines, based in Kiev, Ukraine, and operating from London Luton Airport in partnership with Airfoil Heavy Lift. The company began operations with a fleet of 4 An-124-100s and 3 Antonov An-12s. But a need for aircraft larger than the An-124 became apparent in the late 1990s. In response, the original An-225 was re-engined, modified for heavy cargo transport, and placed back in service under the management of Antonov Airlines. On May 23, 2001, the An-225 received its type certificate from the Interstate Aviation Committee Aviation Register. On September 11, 2001, carrying 4 main battle tanks at a record load of 253.82 tons of cargo, the An-225 flew at an altitude of up to 10,750 meters over a closed circuit of 1,000 kilometers at a speed of 763.2 kilometers per hour. The higher cost can be $30,000 per hour. The An-225 attracts a high degree of public interest, so much that it has managed to attain a global following due to its size and its uniqueness. People frequently visit airports to see its scheduled arrivals and departures, such as in Perth, Australia in May 2016, when a crowd of more than 15,000 people gathered at Perth Airport. The type's first flight in commercial service departed from Stuttgart, Germany, on January 3, 2002, and flew to Thumrait, Oman, with 216,000 prepared meals for American military personnel based in the region. This vast number of ready meals was transported on 375 pallets and weighed 187.5 tons. The An-225 has since become the workhorse of the Antonov Airlines fleet, transporting objects once thought impossible to move by air, such as 150-ton generators. It has become an asset to international relief organizations for its ability to quickly transport huge quantities of emergency supplies during disaster relief operations. The An-225 has been contracted by the Canadian and U.S. governments to transport military supplies to the Middle East in support of coalition forces. An example of the cost of shipping cargo by An-225 was over €266,000 for flying a chimney duct from Billund, Denmark, to Kazakhstan in 2004. On August 11, 2009, the heaviest single cargo item ever sent by air freight was loaded onto the An-225. At 16.23 meters long and 4.27 meters wide, its consignment, a generator for a gas power plant in Armenia along with its loading frame, weighed in at a record 189 tons. During 2009, the An-225 was painted in a new blue and yellow paint scheme, after Antonov ceased cooperation with Airfoil and partnered with Volga-Dnepr in 2006. On June 11, 2010, the An-225 carried the world's longest piece of air cargo, 242.1 meters test wind turbine blades from Tianjin, China, to Skristrup, Denmark. The An-225 participated in the COVID-19 pandemic relief effort, conducting flights to deliver medical supplies from China to other parts of the world.